Volodymyr Zelensky is the president of Ukraine. His name sounds the same as Vladimir, a name that is popular in Russian. Both names mean ruler or power. In Ukraine, people use Volodymyr, while Russians say Vladimir. Though the names are similar, the two leaders with these names are very different. Zelensky became famous long before politics. He was not only an actor, but also a TV producer and comedian. People knew him from television shows. Zelensky worked hard in entertainment. He acted in many funny shows and was very popular. People liked him because he could make them laugh and feel happy. He also created his own TV company with friends, showing how creative he was. But in 2019, he decided to try something very different: politics. Instead of just being on TV, he ran for president of Ukraine. Many were surprised that an actor could become a serious leader. But he succeeded. In 2019, Zelensky became the leader of Ukraine. His story is unusual. It is rare to see a TV star become president of a country, but people believed in him. His story gives hope to many people. It shows that anyone, even someone outside of politics, can lead if they care about the people and the country. Zelensky promised to make Ukraine better by changing old ways. He wanted to bring new ideas and end corruption, which has been a big problem for years. Volodymyr Zelensky was born in 1978 in the city of Kryvyi Rih, Ukraine. His family was smart and loved learning. They valued knowledge and education. His father, Oleksandr, was a scientist and the head of a computer science department at a university. He worked hard and was well respected. Zelensky's mother, Rima, was an engineer. She also came from a family with Jewish roots. His family's Jewish history makes him special in politics. Zelensky is the first Jewish president in Ukraine's history. This is important because Jewish people have often faced unfair treatment in many countries. Even though Zelensky is Jewish, some people wrongly call him a Nazi. This is strange since Nazis were known for their hatred of Jewish people. People in Ukraine were proud that Zelensky, with his Jewish background, became president. It gave them hope for a future without hate or unfairness. Zelensky's parents worked hard and wanted him to succeed. They believed that education was very important. Zelensky studied a lot when he was young. His parents wanted him to have a bright future, so they encouraged him to learn as much as possible. This support helped him become strong and confident. Even though Zelensky was interested in comedy, he also earned a law degree from a university in Kyiv. He liked learning, but his passion was acting. Before becoming president, Zelensky was famous as a comedian and actor. He made people laugh with his funny performances on television shows. Zelensky created his own production company with his friends. The company was called Kvartal 95 and became very successful in making TV shows. One of their most popular shows was a comedy series called Servant of the People. In this show, Zelensky played a school teacher who becomes president. The show Servant of the People aired from 2015 to 2019. It became very popular because it showed what people wanted: honest leaders who care about the country. People liked how Zelensky acted in the show, and they believed he could lead in real life too. His role in the show gave him the courage to enter politics. Zelensky's career as an actor helped him gain public attention. Many people thought he could bring fresh ideas and change the old political system. Kvartal 95 also made other comedy programs, including Ukraine's version of Dancing with the Stars. Zelensky even performed on this show as a dancer. The company worked with many producers from both Ukraine and Russia. However, some Russian producers later supported Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Even though Zelensky worked with Russians before, his loyalty is to Ukraine. He knew that Russia's invasion was wrong, and he stood with his people. In 2019, Zelensky decided to run for president of Ukraine. He wanted to change the country and bring new ideas. He felt Ukraine needed fresh leadership. Many people in Ukraine were tired of old politicians. They believed the government was corrupt and wanted someone different to lead the country. Zelensky promised to fight corruption and improve life for Ukrainians. He told people he was not a politician, just a normal person who wanted change. His campaign focused on big changes. He wanted to make the government fair and end the unfair practices that had existed for many years. Many citizens believed in Zelensky's ideas and saw him as a symbol of hope. His message was clear. He wanted Ukraine to be free from corruption. He said that both Russia and Western countries were not the biggest problems for Ukraine. The real problem, he explained, was corruption within the government. Even though Zelensky had no experience in politics, people trusted him. His background as an actor made him popular and helped him connect with voters. In April 2019, Zelensky won the presidential election by a large margin. More than 70% of the people voted for him, showing their desire for change. Many were surprised by his victory. He beat the current president, Petro Poroshenko, who was unpopular at the time. People wanted a fresh start. In 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. This invasion shocked the world and put Ukraine in great danger. No one knew if the country could survive the attack. Many thought Zelensky would leave the country for safety. However, he stayed in Kyiv, the capital, showing his bravery and love for his people. Zelensky refused to run away. When other leaders offered him a way out, he replied with his now famous words, "I need ammunition, not a ride." The war was hard for Ukraine. Russia had more soldiers, tanks, and weapons. But Zelensky stayed strong, encouraging the people to fight and not give up. Western countries, like the USA and members of NATO, began sending help to Ukraine. They provided weapons, money, and other support to help defend Ukraine. Zelensky's speeches inspired not only Ukrainians, but also leaders from other countries. He showed that Ukraine would not give up, no matter how tough things became. During the first days of the war, Zelensky shared videos on social media. He told people that he was still in Kyiv and would stay with them no matter what. These videos gave Ukrainians hope. Seeing their president stay in the capital helped them believe they could resist the invasion and protect their country. Zelensky's leadership brought Ukrainians together. He united people from different parts of the country to fight for their freedom and protect their homes. Zelensky used social media to communicate directly with people. His posts and videos became a powerful way to give hope and inspire Ukrainians. Every day, he shared updates on the war, asking people to stay strong. He also thanked soldiers, volunteers, and citizens for their hard work. These messages united the people and helped them stay positive, even when things were hard. People believed in his words and felt proud of their country. Zelensky also spoke to leaders around the world. He asked for help from other countries, including weapons, humanitarian aid, and financial support. He gave speeches in many parliaments, like in the USA and Germany. Each time, he connected his message to the country's history or struggles. For example, he reminded Americans of Pearl Harbor, a surprise attack during World War II, and told them that Ukraine was now under attack just like that. These speeches made world leaders understand Ukraine's situation better. Many countries started to send money and weapons to help Ukraine fight. People admired Zelensky's ability to connect with others. He showed that even in hard times, strong communication can make a big difference. His words also encouraged people around the world to support Ukraine. Many ordinary people raised money, sent supplies, or spread messages of solidarity. As president, Zelensky worked to make Ukraine stronger. He promised to end corruption and introduced new laws to stop unfair practices in government. One big change was ending the special immunity that protected politicians from being punished for bad actions. This helped reduce dishonesty. He also passed new laws to modernize Ukraine's economy. For example, he allowed people to buy and sell farmland, which was not allowed before. Despite his efforts, Zelensky was not perfect. Some people criticized him for giving government jobs to his friends from his comedy company. He also appeared in the Pandora Papers, a report that showed many world leaders used offshore companies to avoid paying taxes. Even though it was legal, people felt disappointed. They wanted Zelensky to be different from other leaders who hid their money in secret ways. Zelensky's connection with a rich businessman, Ihor Kolomoisky, also raised doubts. Kolomoisky supported Zelensky, but had been involved in corruption cases. After Zelensky became president, Kolomoisky returned to Ukraine and won some legal battles. This made people question if Zelensky was truly independent. Even with these controversies, many still believe Zelensky's leadership is important. They think his successes outweigh the mistakes he made. Zelensky is now focused on rebuilding Ukraine. He asks other countries and companies to invest in Ukraine to help fix what the war has destroyed. In 2022, he spoke to world leaders and opened the New York Stock Exchange, encouraging businesses to see Ukraine as a future place for growth. Big companies, like BlackRock, agreed to help Ukraine. They will give advice on how to rebuild the economy and attract even more investors. Zelensky knows the future will not be easy. The war with Russia is still going on, and Ukraine faces many challenges in rebuilding homes and cities. Even though the situation is tough, Zelensky stays hopeful. He believes that Ukraine will become stronger through hard work and cooperation. Zelensky wants Ukraine to become part of the European Union, a group of countries that work together. This would help Ukraine grow and stay safe. Many people believe that Zelensky will play an important role in Ukraine's future. His leadership will be tested, but his achievements inspire people. He continues to motivate Ukrainians by reminding them that their fight is not just for today, but for a better future for their children and the world. Even though Zelensky is not perfect, his actions during the war have made him a symbol of courage and hope, both in Ukraine and around the world.